Much like Apple's new MacBook Air, the iPad Air is probably the best overall iPad for the masses. This new M3 iPad Air doesn't really have a whole lot of new features from the previous generations, but it's still a refresh to what was already a very strong product. So should you get an M3 iPad Air? Well, that all depends on what you want to use this tablet for. If it's for consuming content, maybe some light web browsing, playing some games, or maybe you're going to give it to your kids for a few hours a day, I'd suggest going with a new 11th generation iPad that was also just released, but if you're looking for a laptop replacement for traveling, home, or office use, the iPad Air is more than capable. In fact, the M4 iPad Pro, which is the best iPad from a specs and performance standpoint, is probably unnecessary for most users, myself included. Everything that I can do on an iPad Pro, I can do on this iPad Air. The iPad Air can easily handle basic edits in Final Cut Pro for me, photo editing in Lightroom or Photomator, creating illustrations and animations in Procreate, and excels at all of the basics. Like I'm script writing, I wrote this entire script on this iPad Pro. That's probably what I use my iPad for the most, working in Notion, using Slack to communicate with the team, getting some emails done. This is all done while I'm traveling or while I'm just, don't want to be stuck at my desk throughout the office or the house. I pick up my iPad and I do all of these things. I have some music in the background, I'm watching YouTube videos in the background. So I can do all of these things on an iPad Air, and it's not something that you need a Pro for at all. Now, it doesn't have one of the best parts of the iPad Pro, which is that tandem OLED display. It's amazing, but this display is still very solid and excellent for watching content, especially on Apple TV Plus, which is not an ad, by the way, but if you aren't watching all of the great Apple TV Plus shows that are out there right now, what are we even doing here? Now, if you're someone out there that's going to be using this new iPad Air with an Apple Pencil, then I highly recommend picking up a screen protector from today's sponsor, Paperlike. Paperlike is a fantastic screen protector that gives you the feeling of drawing or writing on paper and not just a slab of glass. Paperlike's proprietary nanodots are tiny microbeads engineered to add resistance and improve that haptic feedback when using the Apple Pencil on your iPad, kind of emulating the feeling of writing on real paper. Paperlike also provides minimal reflection, so no more annoying glare when using it in outdoors or near windows, and it's just super easy to install. But there is a 100-day guarantee that if you mess up or you just don't like it, you get up to 2 replacements for free, or you can get your money back if it's just not the product for you. Now, Paperlike is a fantastic screen protector for everyone out there, but it's definitely tailored for those digital artists, illustrators, graphic designers, teachers, and students that just want that real paper-like feeling. Again, it comes with a 100-day satisfaction guarantee or your money back, so there's no reason not to try it. So click the link in the description down below, and huge shout out to Paperlike for sponsoring this video. Now, the M3 offers better performance than the previous generation, obviously, though I never push the limits of the M2 iPad Air, and I don't expect to do that with the M3. I've also never really experienced performance issues with these iPads. They're powerhouses for just about everything that I've mentioned before. You can also play demanding games and utilize all of the, fancy hardware accelerated ray tracing on the iPad Air. If you're going to use this device daily, the iPad Air makes perfect sense, though with accessories, the price can approach laptop territory, so something to keep in mind. The only feature that I really miss from the iPad Pro, aside from the display, is Face ID. You do get the Touch ID power button here, and that works really well, but Face ID is far more convenient when you're using this as a laptop, so you just kind of don't have to lift your hands up off the keyboard. You can just have it read your face. It's a minor gripe, but I can live with it. Now, when it comes to the Air or the Pro, there's usually 2 sizes, the 11 and 13 inch, and I usually prefer the 13 inch model. And with a tablet this large, I feel that you kind of need a keyboard and trackpad. I recommend Apple's Magic Keyboard, though there are plenty of other very nice third-party options. You can just search on Amazon and find something you want, but I prefer to match products with first-party accessories, and Apple's Magic Keyboard has been consistently one of the best things that you can get. This new version includes several notable changes. In fact, it's probably the biggest thing that's changed so far from last year. So first, you get a larger trackpad, and it's redesigned hinge to kind of match the M4 iPad Pro keyboard. Now, it is a solid piece of aluminum that's on the outside, no longer protected by the parts of the case, so it can scratch other products, so be careful how you put this away in your bag. I've learned that the hard way. It also includes an additional USB-C port for charging, and perhaps the biggest upgrade is the function row. It's essential for quickly adjusting brightness and volume without having to go into Control Center either using the mouse or your finger. I'm glad Apple has implemented this function row across both iPad Magic Keyboards. There are also other useful shortcut keys. You can, quickly put on Do Not Disturb or, hit the spotlight search, whatever you want to do. Those are nice that it's just kind of all there at that top row. It also only comes in white this year. There's no more black version. I don't know why, but the white is the best looking one in my opinion, but it gets really dirty really easily, so just be careful. Now, the Magic Keyboard is essential for working with an iPad this size, and it's now more affordable than what it was before. So it now starts at $269 for the 11-inch or $319 for the 13-inch. And if you have an M2 iPad Air, there's no reason to get an M3 iPad Air, but you can get the new keyboard if you want the function row and that slightly new design. I highly recommend it, especially with the larger trackpad. For the Apple Pencil, you have two options, the standard USB-C model or the Apple Pencil Pro. And while I don't use an Apple Pencil daily, both are very good options. For graphic designers and illustrators, those who want advanced drawing features that the Apple Pencil Pro offers, obviously you might want to go with that, but for everyone else, students, people who are just drawing for fun, you probably can get away with the USB-C model. The iPad Air is the ideal tablet for most users, whether for basic tasks or demanding work. Even if you consider yourself a pro-level user, which sometimes I do, I would still probably discourage most people from getting a Pro. It's simply just not necessary for most people, again, myself included. Though if you have the money and you want to get it, it definitely has some really nice upgrades. That screen is excellent. You do get Thunderbolt instead of just standard USB-C, and obviously a little bit more performance. So if you think you're going to utilize all of that, absolutely go for it. You do get Face ID. There's some nice improvements, but those are all things that I could definitely live without if it means I'm going to save myself upwards of like $400 to $500 from making that bigger jump. So I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are you thinking about the new iPad Air this year? I know it's not a huge upgrade, if much at all, besides a performance and chip increase from last year, but I do still think that it's one of the best iPads to get if you're going to be using an iPad quite a bit, especially as like a pseudo laptop replacement. But would love to hear from you in the comments down below.